Hey, Sam, what was the first thing we did when we moved to Orlando a year ago?
We set up the podcast studio and recorded it.
Yeah. BB Nate, what's the last thing that we're going to do before we move out of Orlando tomorrow?
Record our show and tear down the podcast studio.
Yeah, it's like George Lucas always says, it's poetry, it rhymes. Yeah, and we're going to get to the show after these ads specifically chosen for you by a faceless algorithm on a computer in some office in New York City. This is Tatooine Sons.
A cheer to Star Wars, DC, and especially Marvel fans this week. I'm going to give a special shout out to y'all.
Marvel fans for sure.
Yeah. Before we get into today's show, I'd like to remind you that Tatooine Sons has a TeePublic store you just got to check out.
And there's Marvel shirts.
There is a whole sorcerer wizard argument. They have shirts,
but not just shirts. You got like mugs and stickers and throw pillows and blankets if that's
phone
your
cases.
iPhone cases.
Yeah, that's
tapestries
cool.
if you want to hang them on the wall.
I don't even know what a tapestry is.
It's like a big thing you hang on the wall.
All right. Now, of course, my favorites are the Boba Fett shirts, but that's just me.
You just got to throw the Boba Fett in every week, huh?
I have the Boba Fett, man, even if we're not talking about him.
Yep.
It's easy to get to. Just click on the link here in the show notes and take a look around. But enough of that. Let's get into today's show.
It's true. All of it.
What is the name of the porg on the Millennium Falcon?
Force is strong in my family.
What do you think his name is? It's a big moment.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Maybe Turbis?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Turbis? Pablo, if you're listening to this live stream, that porg's name is now Turbis. It's a good Star Wars name.
We're not done yet.
These guys recorded an awesome podcast called Tatooine Sons. Everybody listen to that.
It is weird to think that a year ago right now we were setting up the podcast studio for the Facebook show. So
yeah,
and now it looks so surreal.
Yeah, I know. We're going to tear down everything else. It's but it's fun. It's been a weird year.
Weird is a good way to put it.
Yeah, but anyway, hey, well, thanks for listening. Welcome to Tatooine Sons, a Star Wars. I did it wrong.
Star Wars.
It was a Star Wars podcast
when
a year ago.
When we started this,
it's a pop culture podcast now. We've expanded. That's true.
Times they've been changing.
We believe that pop culture is the mythology of this generation, and that there is a story. It is written on our souls, and that all of these amazing myths speak to that story. And that's why we talk about Star Wars and Marvel and DC and Lord of the Rings and a bunch of other stuff that we really haven't talked about anything else. We haven't even talked about Lord of the
Marvel
Rings.
And DC, yeah.
But
Lord of the Rings has a high budget.
We did talk about Indiana Jones last week.
True.
So.
That's true.
I'm David. I'm the dad. I'm joined
Hi, Dad.
Hi, guys. I'm joined by a couple of really amazing sons and guys.
We are guys. We're
Sam,
also...
how you doing?
Your sons.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, I jumped to you first, but that's okay.
Yeah, you threw me off a little bit. Yeah.
I hope Nathan could take the hint here. What's coming?
Do.
Yeah. So how are you? What are you talking about today?
Oh, come on! Obviously, the Shang-Chi trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
That's the only thing that happened.
We're gonna skip the whole finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, there's the finale. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about that.
Or is it Captain America?
Spoiler.
Yeah. BB Nate, what are you talking about today?
I'm talking about Batman wearing a sentient armor riding a Joker dragon. Yeah.
Wow.
Can we just jump to his segment?
No, we're gonna save that to the end. I'm gonna do a preview of the Bad Batch because frankly, there ain't been anything else to Star Wars, and I'm not sure that we're gonna actually be able to record next week because we will have been out of a house. We'll be homeless a week from today. We won't actually own a home yet, but we will a few days after that, hopefully. All right. Yeah, I guess we'll explain. Moving day.
Yay.
It's been 2 days of packing up 2 houses into 2 trucks. There's more poetry, right? It's like these numbers. Twos.
It's the rule of 2.
That's true.
There's your Star Wars.
Star Wars.
You don't even need your segment anymore.
That's right. It is kind of bizarre to think about, when we recorded our first episode in this house, it was May the 4th. It was our first episode of the Facebook show. It was the day that the finale of season 7 of the Clone Wars took place.
Jeez.
And as we're moving out of this house, moving to Alabama, We are doing a preview for The Bad Batch, which is part of season 7. It's going to be premiering on May the 4th.
And talking about a finale.
We're talking about the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And my segment kind of just doesn't fit into it.
Well, it's because it's comic books. It was fun. We had
that was a lot of fun last week.
But it is kind of fun to do that. Well, hey, so I'm going to a bit of a qualifier on this. Sam, you cannot say Savannah. Okay. Because we know that you're really looking forward to being within, 45 minutes of your girlfriend, which is cool. And we're excited to be within 45 minutes of Savannah too. So we're excited about that.
Good answer.
But what's the thing that you're most excited, other than that, what are you most excited about for Alabama?
My college. I'm really excited for it. I have, just from what little communication and experience I've had with them, I think I'm going to have a lot of fun there.
Yeah. I'm excited for you too. And you're a legacy.
That's true.
Your mama graduated
an alumni. Or is an alumni.
Yeah. Alumnus. BB Nate, what about you? What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about being like 12 minutes away from a movie theater. That's the closest we've been.
It is kind of weird that we're in Orlando, but we're closer to a movie theater in Alabama than in
Daphne,
Orlando.
Alabama.
Yeah.
The closest theater here is 30 minutes away at Disney. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited about getting there too.
Me too.
Yeah. We did get to go to a movie last weekend.
We did.
Yeah.
So, BB Nate, how was that like for you? What is it like to you go, popcorn, soda, being in a movie theater, the experience itself?
I really like it. It feels so good being back. Even the people that incessantly talk behind you.
Oh, that was so rotten.
But really, it was a lot of fun. The movie itself was great.
Yeah, we saw Nobody.
We did.
It's rated R, so mommy, don't take your little kids to it.
No.
Rated R for violence, primarily, and some bad words.
That was bad. If you know no words.
But what'd you think about it, BB Nate?
It was surprisingly funny. Like, way more funny than I thought it was going to be. But the action was great. The acting was fantastic.
So Christopher Lloyd was in there?
Yeah,
that was fun.
Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Shotguns at the end and all this stuff. It was awesome. It was
a lot of fun. What did you think about it, Sam?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. A lot of fun. It's not like a movie where you got to sit there and think. You just go and you just watch it and you have a great time.
Yep.
I'm going to say something a little controversial. I think more movie theaters need to start serving Pepsi like that theater we went to.
Exactly.
Why do you say this?
Because they have Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew to movie theaters.
But Dad
like
wouldn't have Fanta grape.
But then I don't get my Fanta grape. I didn't get to have my Fanta grape.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
like the Coke freestyle machines because I can get my Fanta Zero grape. But anyway.
One time I tried to get Fanta grape, just not zero,
work.
and I almost killed you.
Yeah. All right, Sam, why don't we talk about the thing that we've all been waiting to talk about? It's been hard moving, all this stuff around the house all day long and not being able to talk about the episode that we saw.
Yeah, so it was finally got that final episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And it was everything we could have wanted and more. But just be ready for all the spoilers. We're not going to hold back.
Not at all.
Sam has a very patriotic new look.
Yeah.
Sharon is not who we thought she was, or maybe she was.
Somebody on this show got it right.
And
somebody on this show got it right. Yes. Okay.
And Bucky graduates therapy. Aww. That's all up next.
Be on your guard. There are older and fouler things than orcs in the deep places of the world.
All right, then, keep your secrets.
You're coming to us. Is as the footsteps of steps.
There are many magic rings in this world, Bilbo Baggins, and none of them should be used lightly.
It was.
Yeah.
It was
Captain America 4.
Is it in production or something?
Yep,
Is
it's
that
in
where
production.
It's at?
It's already in production?
Yeah, we don't know how long it's been in production, but it might have been in there for a little bit longer than expected.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, speaking of Captain America, let's just go there and talk about the new Captain America. We've been saying it for a while now, really ever since this show's aired. But Sam Wilson has officially taken up the mantle of Captain America. They didn't waste any time revealing that fact in this episode. It basically started off with him throwing the shield through a window and just starting kicking butt. And pretty much throughout the rest of the episode, it showed him being all the best parts of the Falcon and all the best parts of the Captain America, despite not having the super soldier serum.
And that's why he was the best parts.
Yep. Yes.
So guys, let's just take a minute. We've been holding it in all day. Let's just geek out for a second about Sam and all like the amazing stuff he did as Captain America. Like fighting.
He just has a better move set. I mean, more
is a video game.
No, he has more available options.
He's
combat.
He's Captain America, but vertical.
Yeah, exactly. See, I loved how a couple of times he did his classic Falcon pose.
Oh, that looks so cool.
It's awesome.
I thought it was fantastic. I loved. I know we're probably going to end up talking about this. I don't have the notes in front of me as to what you're going to be talking about.
I'm sure we will, but go ahead.
But I loved the fact that they literally went there in the conversation at the end with Isaiah.
We'll definitely touch on that.
And I think that if you've listened to our breakdowns of this show all the way from preview of this series all the way through every episode recap and review and reaction and all that, the 3 R's, I guess. We nailed this show.
Yeah, we really
from
did.
Start to finish. We knew where they were. We understood what they were trying to say. We knew what they were trying to do with Sam. We knew what they were doing with John Walker. I predicted Sharon. We'll talk about that. I mean, the reality is we understood what was happening in this. It was pretty fun to watch it play out.
But I love this new version, or like how they're this Captain America. It was awesome, throwing like the whole helicopter chase.
Oh yeah,
oh that was great. And he's got Red Wing. That's Bucky.
Red Wings
specifically asked the Wakandans to put Red Wing back in there.
Yeah,
which is cool. But after all the cool fighting and stuff, Sam has to go confront Carly while she's having a conversation with Sharon. We'll definitely have more on that later. But Carly shoots Sharon and Sam has to stop her. He doesn't fight Carly, even though she's like literally asking him to. Eventually Carly gets the upper hand on Sam though, but is shot by Sharon, before she can kill him. Or before she can kill Sam. At which point Sam like cradles Carly in his arms. I got Twin Sons vibes there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else
true.
did.
I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, obviously really two different series, but like it had that kind of feel to it.
Qui-Gon Jinn, all that. Yeah,
I got Final Crisis vibes because that pose was in that comic exactly.
It's a classic pose.
Yeah, it shows like this mercy in this character. Yeah. But in her dying breath, she says, "I'm sorry" and stuff, and she meant it. He then carries her body to the paramedics, which I mean. It was sad, but it was like a really cool image, him coming down like that, almost like an angel.
It is the image of mercy.
Yes.
It is the image of, even though I disagree with what she was doing.
How she was doing
it. That's the right way of wording it. Even though I disagree with it, with how she was doing this is a human being. Her life had value, and it is the anti-John Walker.
Yep.
John Walker was wanting to destroy. It was about strength. It was about power. And Sam came in there with mercy and grace and refused to fight her. Yeah. That's when I'm like, gosh, Sam is Captain America.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, I don't know. You just mentioned this. I don't know about you, Nate, but like this is the scene that in my mind shows us why Sam is the right choice for the next Captain America.
Oh, of course.
I got like, the end of the Winter Soldier movie, when Steve is talking to Bucky, he's like, "I'm not going to fight you." And
I had not thought about that.
Bucky's going after Steve, and he's like, "I'm not going to do it. I'm with you to the end of the line."
My heart.
It was like a mirror of that right almost. Now. Yeah,
such a good show.
So I mean,
a good show.
Yeah, it was a really. It was a very crucial scene for setting up Sam in this character
as Captain America, and the world saw it. That's cool,
right? And like even the world was like
well, that one dude's like, "That's a Black Falcon," and the other guy's like, "No, that's Captain America."
He's like, "No, that's Captain America." I mean, it was cheesy, but it was good. Like the world's already
Marvel is cheesy.
That's true.
So
you're right. It's super
it's
comic book
okay.
Superheroes. But yeah, after that, he's kind of mobbed by a bunch of reporters on everything, but he kind of ignores them and just goes straight to these government officials that he's just saved. And he basically told them that, sure, how the Flag Smashers were going about the whole thing was wrong, but their fight was good. What they were fighting for was good. And after a speech that we've kind of come to expect from Captain America, Steve was good with the moving motivational speeches. Sam's got that down. Sam actually ends up convincing the officials to not go through with the vote, actually completing Carly and the Flag Smashers fight. The only difference is he did it the right way.
Exactly.
Which is big. That's like not something you see in TV or movies or anything where there's a good guy and bad guy. The good guy literally completed the bad guy's job, but just did it in a good guy way. So this was a really neat scene. What were your guys' thoughts on that whole conversation with the officials and stuff?
Right as I saw it, I said, that is Captain America. I mean, the speeches, the movement, the mercy, the
looking at both sides,
the caring for the people, because he was that Brooklyn kid that had nothing at that point. He knows what it's like. And that's what Sam was saying. Put yourself in their shoes. You're deciding with other people that don't feel what these people are feeling. I mean, put them into this room.
Yeah. And he's like, you're making these decisions with people like you in the room, not the people you're affecting.
Exactly.
That was a big, big line. Dad.
Yeah. I love the fact that he's flat out saying things like, stop using these labels.
Like, stop calling them terrorists.
Stop doing, stop calling. Can we go there with fandom? Let's just go there with fandom. Okay. And Star Wars fandom is where we cut our teeth on sort of the toxic elements of fandom. And we've experienced this, right? Oh, they're fandom menace, or they're snowflakes, or they're not even that. I mean, listen, Mike Zero's a fraud.
Okay, he's earned his
reputation. He's a fraud. All right, that's just the way he is. He's
anyway.
Not the way what I'm talking. I'm talking about like taking whole groups of people, social justice warriors, fandom menace, and we start putting people in these different categories, and that's what Sam is talking about in this. He's like, can we stop with that? Have these why aren't we having conversations about this? Why was she fighting that? Why was she able to get millions of people to follow her if what she was trying to do didn't have some type of merit, or there wasn't somebody behind it?
And I love that line when like one of the senators was like, you just don't understand. He's like, I'm a black man wearing the stars and stripes. What do I not understand right now? I love like his dryness with everything. He's cut and dry.
He understands.
Well, he through the process of this series, he went from not believing that he should be the Captain America to owning the mantle. He wanted that mantle. He realized that
he understood he was Captain America. He is Captain America.
He saw in himself by the end of between the end of episode 5 and this episode. He understood what Steve Rogers saw in him, and he accepted it.
Yeah. So after that whole discussion, and even like Bucky called him Cap at the end there, which was really neat.
Yeah.
Sam goes and visits Isaiah Bradley's house again. And I wish I could tell you, I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but there was this one line from Sam explaining why he became Captain America that just really stuck with me. He was like, we built this country, bled for it. I'm not going to let anybody tell me I can't fight for it. Not after what everybody before me went through, including you, Isaiah.
Yeah.
Like that line stuck with me. Yeah.
Right. Because he's like, listen, I'm an American. I love this country. I stand behind my country, and I am not ignoring or blind to all of the bad that has happened in the history of this country. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not going to let you tell me because there was bad that I can't still be proud to be an American, proud to be Captain America in this case. And the only way to change it is to take up that mantle. Mm-hmm. And that's what he did.
Yeah. So. I love that motivation for him becoming Captain America. It makes sense. But after this discussion, Sam takes Isaiah and his son to the Captain America exhibit at the Smithsonian that we see in Winter Soldier. And Sam shows Isaiah the newly added portion of the exhibit honoring Isaiah Bradley's service to the country. Dad, what were your thoughts? You kind of touched on this.
No, I mean, it's. Did you notice that there was a John Walker section too?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and it had the Avenger or the Captain America symbol, like fractured. with it.
Really?
It was the Avengers symbol.
They
It
were
was the
quick.
Avenger symbol? Okay. But they had a picture of John Walker. I saw it
I'm not sure.
specifically.
I didn't see. I thought
I
it was
specifically
Steve.
saw John Walker. So
Anyway.
so I love it. I love the fact that, you know what? If we're going to tell the story of Captain America, we're going to talk about Steve, but we've got to talk about John Walker. And we really need to be talking about what happened with Isaiah.
I mean, they've started taking this Captain America, this symbol of Captain America. It's not just one person. It's this whole idea.
Yes.
And they're really emphasizing that point. And that's what they did with this series.
It was awesome.
Nate, are you satisfied with the way they made Sam the new Captain America? And are you excited to see more of this character?
Oh, I am so excited to see more. I can't wait. Captain America 4 is going to be so awesome. I really loved the way they made his transition. I loved the training montage leading up to, him being Captain America.
Freaking awesome.
I
y'all.
loved the reference to Captain Falcon. In this show.
We were saying that. That's not a thing. And then someone said it.
So they do this into our podcast.
I think so too.
You're right. That's
Maybe they listen to it and they say, "Oh yeah, no what? We need to go forward with this."
Just put some ADR
Oh
there.
wow, it would really be cool to have Sharon Carter be the power broker. Let's change the script here and reshoot some scenes. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Speaking of Sharon Carter, you called it, Dad. Sharon Carter is in fact the power broker. Go ahead.
I am the smartest man alive.
Yeah, I think many people called it.
I know. I heard other people call it.
But yeah, our suspicions were confirmed in the conversation between Carly and Sharon.
And the ending credit scene.
Yeah,
Goodness.
not much more happened with Sharon until that end credit scene where she was given this full pardon by the U.S. government that Sam promised
almost
her.
tears in her eyes.
She does a very convincing fake cry. Like, I thought she was
more
legit.
convincing than the people on American Idol.
But literally, as soon as she's out of the courthouse, she makes a call to one for associates and is telling them to line up the buyers because she's like back in S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff. She's got access to everything, and she's still playing that role of power broker. Do you guys think that Sharon Carter is going to be a bad guy in the next phase of the MCU?
I think that she's going to be an anti-hero. She's okay with fighting for the good side, but she needs to
make money.
Yep. And there are a lot of people that would probably hunt her down if she stopped making that money. So I think there's more complicated things than just she's a good guy, she's a bad guy. I think
that's what this whole series has been setting up. It's not just that simple.
And like with John Walker too. So
it kind of really bothers me though to think that Peggy Carter's niece is a bad guy.
Yeah, I kind of like it though.
At the same time, I'm like, that's bold.
I kind of like it's not so MCU. MCU is like,
but do we know if that happens in the comics?
I don't. I'll look it up though.
Power broker, I'm pretty sure is just like some dude.
Okay.
It's not
well,
Sharon,
yeah. I mean, I'm just curious to see if Sharon Carter even
goes bad.
Went dark side
I can
or
do some
something.
research on
some
dark side.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I think it'll add an interesting dynamic to the next phase.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about John Walker for a minute. He just kind of like
U.S. agent
randomly shows up during the battle yelling Morgenthau, and she like gets all like freaked out about it.
Well, yeah, he's going after Carly.
Right, for revenge. And he's wielding this fake Captain America shield, which is kind of appropriate. It's a fake shield for a fake cap,
Yep.
Wow. So then he goes around fighting some flag smashers, and that shield actually stood up longer than I thought it would, honestly.
Spent a lot of time building it.
Right. But eventually, he actually makes a very good guy decision there to save a group of innocents, some of those officials, instead of getting revenge, which he could have done easily. But then at the end of the episode, we see Val again. I'm calling her Val because
Valentina
I didn't want to type her whole name
de la Fontaine. There we go.
or say it. But
Good.
She made a new suit for John, which I'm so happy about. It's the
such a
same.
cool suit.
Why are you?
I just think it's cool. All right. Like, it's just a cool looking
and
suit.
also, he's not wearing the red, white, and blue anymore, so he's not disrespecting Captain America anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's the same suit as before, but black instead of blue. And it looks just like the suit from the comics at this point. And he's even given the moniker of US agent. So he is 100% undoubtedly that character now. He doesn't have a shield, but he is the character of US agent now. I am a little confused though, because this whole series has been setting him up as a bad guy, especially episode 5. But then he goes and saves a truck full of people. So is he going to end up being a bad guy going forward in the MCU or something else?
Again, I think it's going back to the whole, it's not that simple. I really do think that it's going to be an anti-hero type of situation. He cares about the people and he won't do anything.
He does care about his country.
He cares about his country. He'll do anything for the innocent lives, and he will cross lines.
Yep.
But blindly, yeah.
He's the U.S. agent in the comics from what you've described.
Yep.
He's the U.S. agent that is red, white, and blue, love America, right, wrong, but I will cross any line
for America
in order to do what I think needs to be done.
Yep.
And that's not what Steve would have done.
And protect innocent lives. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
I heard this theory though, just briefly, that they're going to I think he's going to be like a part of like this new, like almost like anti-Avengers kind of, like it's a group of
the Legion of Doom, just
like
joking.
anti-heroes that might have like Sharon Carter and U.S. Agent and Zemo or something like that, like a group, like almost like a Suicide Squad, but not. I think he'd fit well in that role.
I do.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Maybe even Bucky being a part of it.
He's too good for that group, I think.
You think so?
He'll be the leader, the one to keep them all in check.
But speaking of Bucky, not a whole lot happened with Bucky in this episode, except kind of towards the end.
Oh my god!
They did wrap up his character arc quite nicely. He eventually talked with that old man from the first episode, and told him about his son.
He was heartbroken. Again, great acting by Sebastian Stan.
Finally, he finally was able to cross that last name off in his book. He then sent it to his therapist, thanking her for all her help. Guys, do you think that this means Bucky is no longer tied to the Winter Soldier in any way? And so now he can become the White Wolf fully?
I don't know, because they didn't rename the show Captain America and the White Wolf. They named it Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
# missed opportunities.
Yeah. So I loved the whole storyline of Bucky in this. I think that he was a much more thought out character in this than he was in the other movies. In the other movies, he was just he was a MacGuffin in every movie.
Yeah.
He was somebody that existed to move the story along for Captain America. Mm-hmm. This one, that isn't who he is. He is a well-rounded, fun, interesting,
fleshed out character.
And I loved it. And I can't wait to see more of him.
Yep. Well, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or should I say Captain America and the Winter Soldier, is finally finished. In my mind, it was an absolutely amazing show. Even better than WandaVision.
What do you think about that, BB Nate? Is it WandaVision?
Really?
I think it's better. Dad?
I think it's a much better story than WandaVision. I think WandaVision had more wow moments, but this was without a doubt a better story.
Yeah. But I'm so excited to see more of these new and improved characters that we got in this show. But enough about Marvel. What have you got for us in the Star Wars world, Dad?
Well, I'm not sure any of us really believed that the first 4 episodes of season 7 of the Clone Wars would end up becoming arguably the most important of that final season
so far.
But a year after the series ended, we're finally getting some new Star Wars animation, and Clone Force 99 is taking center stage. Sam's going to be excited about that.
Heck yeah!
If you're a little iffy on your Bad Batch knowledge, we will get you all caught up next, and that's coming after these ads specifically chosen for you because you accepted cookies on that website 3 nights ago, and now you're seeing the same ads over and over and over again. This is Tatooine Sons.
Hey, you.
Yeah, what? Me?
Yes.
Who? Okay.
The listener.
Oh, that's not me. I'm a host.
Yeah,
All right,
you.
never mind. I'm going to take a break now.
Before we get back to the show, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for listening. Really, it means a lot, especially since we're moving and everything. It's always a fun break to do this. It's even more fun because of all of your amazing feedback telling us how much you enjoy listening to this show.
I'm expecting a review from someone that interprets dreams.
Really?
Like she said, she's found our podcast, she listened to it, and she's going to give us a review. Anyway.
I wonder what she thinks,
cool.
Whoever that person is, about Inception.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
It's always awesome reading your comments and reviews. If you haven't had a chance to do it yet, we'd love to invite you to give us a review on Apple Podcasts or whichever, podcast service that you use. It helps us learn more about you and what you love about the show so we can continue to bring the family-friendly, entertaining content to you, hopefully every week.
Yeah, we're
trying.
We're committed.
Yeah, of course.
We might become committed, like to Arkham Asylum or something. But anyway, yeah.
Good one. So just thank you again for listening. Let's get back to the show.
Hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, kid.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
If you live long enough, you see the same eyes in different people.
It's when Crosshairs put like those mirror plaids all over the hallway, and he just shot one and it bounced around.
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
cool.
Took out
All right,
the
you got another
platoon.
one?
When Rex gets to Echo. I love that
that's
scene
so
so
emotional.
much. So much. Such a good scene.
I kind of like the fact that, when Anakin gets outed that for hanging out with Padme. Anyway, but that's just the first thing. Whenever I think about that first episode, I think about that moment. All right. The Bad Batch is coming. I said something a little bit provocative leading into the segment a minute ago, saying that this arc from season 7 might have been more important than any other arc within that. Do you agree or disagree? We know everything that happened in the Siege of Mandalore.
That's
stuff.
true. The Bad Batch arc is going to end up setting up more than any other arc.
There we go. Exactly what he said.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with who the Bad Batch are, let's talk about them. All right. We got 5. We only had 4 when we started. But now we've had 5. We've got Hunter. He's a clone with enhanced tracking abilities and heightened senses.
And he's good with a knife.
We've got Echo, which Echo comes back from some really
Crazy
amazing stuff from the earlier seasons of the Clone Wars. He's a clone with cybernetic enhancements.
Ooh, cyborg.
We've got Wrecker. He's a clone with enhanced muscular strength and hulking form. Hulk smash. It's clobbering time.
That's something different.
It's crossover right there.
What was that accent? It's clobbering time.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger doing thing. All right. And then you got Crosshair. He's a sharpshooter with visually enhanced sight. And then you have Tech, who's a highly intelligent clone with tracking abilities. Sam, just for all the
slicing. It's slicing.
Slicing? All right. Cool. All right. He slices, he dices. He even juliennes. Okay. For all the dads out there, you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Cut a tomato or cut a shoe.
Exactly. So Sam, just for anybody, before we jump into the main question here, but explain how Clone Force 99 comes to be Clone Force 99. Why are they different?
Well, they're just clones that came out with some mutation, essentially, and they figured, this mutation's good, so they actually enhance that mutation, make it more prominent, because it's beneficial in some way, but it is highly specialized.
Awesome. All right, so I'll come back to you in a second. BB Nate, you go first. Who's your favorite member of the Bad Batch?
Echo. Yes.
Is that because you have more of a relationship with Echo from
I just really like Echo.
You like all the cybernetic enhancements? It's kind of a throwback to Cyborg.
I just always like the character, his emotion, all the stuff he's been through, all that. I just really think it's a good character.
What's the name of that troop that he's in
Domino Squad?
Domino Squad. That's it. Yeah. That's awesome. Sam, which one's your favorite?
Crosshair. Easy.
Crosshair?
Dude's awesome.
I liked Hunter. He seems like the one that's kind of the leader of the group.
He's like Rambo. He's like Rambo vibes.
He's going to become U.S. agent.
Even the headband and
the headband and the hair.
Yeah, he does kind of look like that. With that, when I first saw him in the original like teaser for season 7, I for some reason thought that was Quinlan Boss.
Yeah, he looks like
for just a second. I did. But anyway, all right. Got to talk about when the series takes place. There's a little, it's important for us to understand that it is immediately after the events of the Clone Wars season 7. If you haven't watched that initial 4-episode arc of season 7 of the Clone Wars,
you're going to want to watch that.
Go back. If you're tuning into this podcast because you're a Marvel fan or you're a DC fan or just because you wanted to hear Dad and his 2 sons geek out about pop culture, but you're not a big Star Wars fan, go back and watch that arc and then watch the Bad Batch. I promise you by the end of Bad Batch, you're going to become a huge Star Wars fan because Dave Filoni's putting this together, but you've got to check those out. You've got the first episode, which is the Bad Batch, is literally what it was called. Then you have a distant Echo. That's when they go and they find Echo, which was really emotional. On the wings of the Kiradocs, that was cool when they were on those.
Yeah, it was that was crazy. Cool little I love that episode.
Yeah. And then Unfinished Business,
Yes.
where they finish it out. Check those out. Now, the big question, I'll start with you, Samuel the Hutt. The big question, are we going to see Order 66 from yet another perspective? We've seen it in the films. We saw it again at the end of the Siege of Mandalore from Ahsoka's perspective. Are we seeing it in another perspective here?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see it in their perspective, because we didn't see them at all ever since that those first 4 episodes. So we have no idea what they were doing during Order 66. And since they are clones, but they're different from any other clone troop, it'll be interesting to see how they react to that whole situation. So I think it's almost inevitable. Also, if you look at Order 66 from another perspective, it looks like 99.
Well, that's interesting. It's like poetry.
It
rhymes. There we go. BB Nate, are we going to see Order 66 from the Bad Batch's perspective?
I've been saying this since the first episode of Bad Batch has come out. They do not have chips. That would change their growth, everything, and their orders wouldn't be taken as well, and everything. So yes, we will be seeing it from a different perspective. I mean, I'm assuming that they don't have chips, but I know that Echo doesn't, because they had to take it out because most of his head is electronics. So yes, I'm very excited to see a different perspective of Order 66.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we are too. Let's talk about some of the other major players in this series. I know we talked a little bit about this on a previous episode when we were breaking down the trailer, but let's really kind of go through here and then come up with there's some new information here.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. Tarkin, is it going to be Grand Moff Tarkin? He becomes Grand Moff Tarkin.
I don't think he's
in the
Grand
Tarkin
Moff.
novel by James Luceno. So I don't think so. I think
it's just Moff.
He's going to be, Moff Tarkin in this by the amazing Steven Stanton.
Whoa.
I'm so excited that he's going to be a featured
main character
actor in this, not just playing, AP5 or Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Kenobi.
Which
in Twin Sons.
Anyways.
He did amazing on all of those episodes.
Absolutely.
But he is Tarkin when it comes to animation. I can't wait to see him on that. We've also got Fennec Shand by Ming-Na Wen, which is going to be exciting to see her make that transition. She is a animation legend.
Yes.
She voiced Mulan. All right. So that's
she knows what she's doing.
Absolutely.
Maybe she'll have a little musical number.
You think so? That'd be cool. I don't think she actually sang in that movie. No, I know she didn't.
She totally did.
No, she didn't. It was
they'll have a musical number with Tarkin.
Yeah. And then AP5 will show up and finish it. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Then we have Saw Gerrera, played by the one that played him in the Clone Wars, not
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. So we've got Andrew Kashino. And then Captain Rex, of course, played by D. Bradley Baker, who's also voicing all of the other clones.
That man's going to be busy.
In this. Do you think they have to pay him extra for all of those?
I mean, he has to do multiple voice lines for different characters. And he has conversations with himself. You've got to think about that.
He probably spends
Gosh, there are times when he sits there and he reads the script and he's just beside himself. Okay.
He probably gets paid hourly, though. And he's probably in the studio a lot more than anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. And then, of course, we're going to have Palpatine in that with it. What other character would you like to see in the Bad Batch, BB-8?
Turbis, but
that's not going to happen.
Boba Fett.
That might actually happen. We might see young Boba Fett.
I would like that. Maybe he teams up with Fennec for a minute.
Yeah, I would love to see Cad Bane. I just want to see Cad Bane back in the
awesome. Is he dead?
No.
I don't know where he's at. Why have they not brought his character back yet?
I want to see him in animation again, because that's where he lives, and I want to see it so bad. I love this
such
episodes.
a beloved. He was like Boba Fett for the Clone Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else would you like to see, Sam?
Jeez. I mean, I'm going to go with Boba Fett. I really like that idea. Maybe.
Of course, you're going to go with Boba Fett.
I mean, maybe he's working with Fennec Shand. No.
Do we see the animated Boba Fett, the young Boba Fett in the Boba Fett armor?
I'd like that. Maybe cool. Its original paint scheme, but it's not so beat
Maybe
up.
we find out how he gets the ding.
Oh, that would be awesome.
They were going to do that in the Clone Wars, but they cut it out for some reason.
I know. And that's why I'm thinking that. This is Dave Filoni. All right, we've got some new information about Omega. Omega's the kid that we see on Camino in the big trailer that came out a few weeks ago. Right. If you go to the German subtitles for the Disney Plus trailer of it, it actually calls Omega a female.
Huh. Why the German subtitles?
I don't know. But so there's full of Sith.
And who spent time looking at the different languages
going through each
a Star Wars fan. All right,
point.
probably a podcaster if you want to know the truth. With it, and also during an interview at Full of Sith, composer Kevin Kiner, who did all the music for Clone Wars and Rebels.
Oh, okay. Rebels has good soundtrack.
Absolutely, he teased a new standout character that will be debuting in the Bad Batch, and this is what he said. He says there's some really cool new characters, and there's one character in particular that's really, really fantastic, and is going to be another standout character for years to come in Bad Batch. So Omega is kind of an enigma at this point. Any crazy speculation on who this could become?
I've got no clue at this point. Maybe. No, that'd be really creepy. Never mind.
I mean,
what were you going to
say? She'll grow up to be Palpatine's wife or something. That's creepy.
I'm thinking about it
fast.
And if you really just look at the face character design, it looks a lot like the Mortis daughter. And I'm wondering if somehow something has happened. You said crazy speculations, so I'm just giving my crazy speculations. Yeah. That's the only thing I could think of.
You just went way out there, didn't you?
The character design.
And this is what happens when you've been in 85-degree weather for 2 straight days, carrying dressers and couches and everything else up and down with barely any sleep. Your mind starts to become fried, and you come up with crazy things like she's Mortis' daughter reincarnated. Wow. Yeah. Do you think we see Ahsoka?
No.
I think it would be a mistake. I think that it would be a mistake to bring in Ahsoka. I think that's too much. For
let her character have her.
Let this series be about something different. All right, predictions sure to go wrong. We like to do this when we have these shows.
I already did mine, so you're good.
You got to come up with another one. So predictions sure to go wrong. Something crazy.
The newly formed Empire creates a Stormtrooper Task Force 99 to hunt Clone Task Force 99.
That could actually happen. Excuse me.
Turbis will appear and will save the day and will
use that every time.
Yeah, it's a good cop out.
It is kind of funny to think that our 3rd episode, which was a live broadcast from The Last Jedi premiere, he predicted Porgs would save the day. And it was weeks later when we named Turbis.
It is.
So Turbis is a big part.
Maybe something's happening in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I had one and I lost it. I had one just a second ago. So
all
right. We've been moving.
I know. That's literally. It was actually something that was going to make sense. Now I'm going to be ticked off about it for the next 2 hours. All right.
You're going to come back in my Nathan segment. You'll be sitting there.
I'll be like, oh yeah, that's it. All right. It's going to be a weird. May the 4th be with you for us at least.
Yeah.
Even though we won't be able to give our reaction to the first episode of The Bad Batch for a couple of days after its premiere. Because I'll be out of town and we'll be moving and we won't even be in a house yet. You won't want to miss that episode that's going to be premiering then. It's going to be 70 minutes long.
Y'all.
It's going to be awesome. I'll watch it on the flight back from Austin that night. You guys can watch it whenever you want that day. Having Star Wars animation back is great.
Yeah.
It's not the Star Wars animation I wanted, but
it is the Star Wars animation that Dave Filoni thinks you need. So that makes
Is this a Batman
right.
quote?
You missed it.
Yes.
You missed it, but it's okay.
Deserve. Is that it?
Right.
Or no.
All right, baby Nate.
It's deserved. So since last week was so much fun, why don't I try
Fun's one way to put it.
Explain one of the strangest and most acid trip comics I've ever read.
Acid trip.
It's a good way
it's
of
the first time we
describing it.
said that on this podcast.
But it's great. Let me explain it from DC. Let's get into it.
Yeah, that's coming up after these ads specifically chosen for you because some company somewhere had extra advertising budget and they're experimenting with OTT ads.
I don't know what that means.
That's the ad coming up next. This is Tatooine Sons. You want to know how you can be awesome like Sam Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've already got his
You don't
first
have
name,
to have
so.
super soldier serum in order to be a superhero.
But you do have to have a vibranium shield and wingsuit.
No, you have to have a good heart.
That's true.
All right, yeah.
We learned that.
And that's why Sam became a superhero, and every person listening to this right now can do that because there are 400 million children, honestly, right now, that are living in extreme poverty, and you have the opportunity to become what's called a child champion by coming alongside these children and helping them with food and education and medicine and clothing, and knowing that somebody in the world cares about them by helping them with that. And so for just $39 a month, you can become a child champion with one child and change a child's life. And they will write you letters and tell you that they're your superhero. You're their superhero. Yes. Yeah. That's the way that I meant that to be. To learn more, check out the link in the show notes for One Child. I promise you, if you do this, you will be thrilled with what happens as a result. So check it out.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Yeah, I can fly.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
The people in this room, which one is A, wearing a spangly outfit, and B, not of use?
There's only one God, man, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
That man has no limits.
He's going to listen to an audiobook.
He is. I'm going to be probably white knuckling from his driving, but
in a 20-foot truck pulling a trailer.
Yeah, it's exciting. But I'm going to be marathoning Zack Snyder's trilogy of DC movies. I'm going to watch Man of Steel, then I'm going to watch BVS. I already watched an hour of it, so I had time to fit.
Was it true that he was planning on 5 movies?
6.
So
yes.
what's that called?
So we had Justice League 2, then Justice League 3, and then he was going to reboot the whole DCEU with a Flashpoint movie.
That's pretty awesome.
It's sad. And then I'm going to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League after I finish up BVS.
Justice is Gray or regular?
Oh, regular. I mean, Justice is Gray was awesome, but I prefer the color just because I can see more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm going to be talking about Dark Knight's Metal.
Explain why. Okay, last week you explained a comic book to us.
And it didn't go.
We kind of thought it was a bit of a train wreck on our end.
Oh, I was so frustrated.
It was fun, and you were frustrated, and people listened and gave us some great feedback and said that they were in stitches laughing at.
Yeah. So,
and when I listened to it again, I'm like, I get it. It was funny. So
I'm going to be talking about Dark Knight's Metal, which actually has a lot of stuff from Final Crisis.
Oh, so we've already read the prerequisites, Dad.
There's a lot that you'll probably still be confused about. So I'm going to start with the beginning of the series, the Journals of Carter Hall. Carter Hall is Hawkman.
Okay. All right. That's good information.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
So it's not Falcon.
No, it's Hawkman.
Is Hawkman and Falcon, are they like parallels to each other?
No. Hawkman actually has wings.
So it's like Angel and Hawkman.
Kind of, but Hawkman has a magical mace. Yeah.
So he's like Thor.
Thor and Angel.
Yeah, there you go. So the whole story is centered around these journals that are found by the Justice League, telling these.
Are they like the journals of the Wills? Are they like the ones in the forestry on Octu?
Kind of. They're just journals. They're just doodles. They tell about these 4 tribes.
Are they NFTs?
I'm sure they are.
I don't even know what that
means. The wolf, the bear, the bird, and the bat.
Batman.
Yes. So we start moving along to Hawk Girl and the journals. Hawk Girl learns about a full-scale invasion from the journals and warns the Justice League about it. She also learns that the name of the main enemy is Barbatos, which is going back.
No, that goes back to what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
See?
It's all coming together.
It's all connected.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Okay, and by the way, this series took place was written 10 years after Final Crisis ended. So
they planned that Barbados thing pretty early.
Yeah.
It's a retcon.
So during Batman's career, he has faced a lot of different of these powerful sentient metals that were created when the universe was. Yeah.
So Infinity Stones.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. But metal.
Kind of. It was, so there are 3, another little bit of a backstory. There were 3 beings that were created when the universe was: the Monitor, the Anti-Monitor, and the Forger. We'll get to the Forger later.
Okay.
But during Batman's career, he faced a lot of these. It all started when Darkseid shot Batman with his whole time bomb Omega beam.
And we talked about that on the last episode.
Exactly.
Okay.
See?
So I'm feeling educated a little bit tonight. I don't feel as lost yet. Okay.
Then throughout the rest of his career, he had encounters with these evil metals. There are 5 evil metals: Electrum, Dionysium, Promethium, the Nth metal, and Batmanium.
No, you're kidding, right?
No, I'm not kidding about Eddie.
That's a metal?
Yes.
I love it.
Well, is that what the Batmobile's made out of? Batmanium.
No, I'm going to explain how he got exposed to Batmanium. Which he was exposed to when he was using a dark side baby to try and reverse time before he was exposed to Batmanium.
Hold on.
This caused...
Wait. No, you can't skip that line and just keep going.
Dark side?
Yes. So since Darkseid was shot, he was reduced to a baby again. So Batman tracked down baby Darkseid.
When he got shot at the end of the episode,
or
the
anti-life bullet crisis
with the anti-life bullet,
Radion bullet. Yes.
Oh.
Good. And
wait,
so
is anti-life like one of the metals?
No. That's an equation.
But you said it was used to make the bullet.
No, that's radion that was used to make the bullet.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
So the Darkseid baby with his time omega beams would help reverse time. At least that's what Batman was hoping for.
So what? He would just hold the baby and like point it at stuff,
kind of
squeeze it.
But the Court of Owls laid a trap for him that got exposed to Batmanium, which was the last metal that he had to get exposed to before a bunch of bad things started to happen. When he did get exposed, this caused Batman to switch places with Barbatos in a weird different realm and 7 other evil versions of Batman.
There's 7 evil versions of Batman for the one good Batman?
We're going to talk about how they became, ish. I'm going to just go quickly through it. The evil Batmen.
Is it Batmen or is it Batmans?
Batmen, because this is from different parallel universes.
Yeah, but if there's more than one Batman and Batman...
They explain it as Batmen.
It's Batman.
Okay? We have the Batman Who Laughs, which is my favorite one. The Red Death, which is Flash mixed with an evil Batman.
Wow.
The Drowned, which is Aquaman mixed with an evil Batman.
Interesting.
The Dawnbreaker, which is Green Lantern mixed with Batman. The Devastator, which is Doomsday mixed with an evil Batman.
Ooh, that one freaks me out.
The Murder Machine.
Cyborg Batman?
Yes. And the Merciless.
Wow, good job.
The Merciless, which is an evil Batman wearing the helmet of Ares. No, Joker's Batman Who Laughs.
Wait.
Oh,
Wonder
really?
Woman Batman?
Yeah, but wearing the helmet of Ares, and it's evil.
Okay, quick question though. You said it was Green Lantern Batman. I thought Green Lanterns were good.
Not particularly, not in that universe at least. Well, there might have been good Green Lanterns, but it might have
to have a lot.
So was Aquaman and
yeah. So you just had
good point. But I thought like you couldn't wear a ring if you were Batman.
No, you just had to have enough willpower. That's why Sinestro was able to wield it for a good amount of time. He was a Green Lantern before he was
Sinestro. I hadn't thought about Sinestro.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is where we get into the meat of the story. That
we haven't got to it yet.
That was all kind of just I shrunk that part down a lot, but this is kind of stuff we cannot not touch on. Wonder Woman then searches for the nth metal, which can bring Batman back and end the invasion, and is attacked by a corrupted Hawk Girl. Do you have a question?
I just wondering what the nth metal, why they call it that.
I don't know why I don't think they ever
So like the
explained.
nth degree is why I think
right, that's what it means.
Yeah, I think that's what it means.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Superman finds Batman in that weird different realm and wakes him up from a never-ending nightmare. Then Superman and Batman are overpowered by evil Supermen and are saved.
If there's more than one Superman,
it's Superman. Moving on,
not Superman. And are saved from Daniel Hall, who is a totally different thing I cannot get into in the short amount of time I have. He's basically just a part of the dreaming, which has to do with Constantine.
So he's like that imaginary character from the last story?
No.
Okay.
I'm not, it's going to be confusing. So Constantine, you know him?
No, I've heard of him.
So basically he works with him. Yeah. Constantine works with this Daniel Hall. And then they find out about the third person born out of the universe, the Forger.
All right, you said you were going to tell us about that.
Yes, I'm going to explain it more now. The Forger is a person who wielded the Forge of Worlds, which can defeat Barbatos in the end. And Superman and Batman learn about this. The Forge of Worlds can basically create worlds constantly. Okay. So it's cool.
So it's the opposite of the mother boxes where they're like destroying the worlds?
No, mother boxes don't think in murder or healing. There we go. There's a Zack Snyder Justice League line from you. So Barbatos, we learn more about him, was a dragon that the Forger kept to destroy unstable worlds, but knowing only destruction, Barbatos killed the Forger, which made the Forge of Worlds go dark. Literally. Superman and Batman head to the Forge in hopes of ending this war.
And they find a giant dwarf?
Not
with
close.
his hands in metal.
Close-ish. They eventually arrive to the Forge and find it to be darkened and corrupted. And then they find a corrupted Carter Hall.
Carter Hall's different from Daniel Hall?
Yes.
Carter Hall's Hawkman.
Who's Daniel Hall?
Daniel Hall's the one he can't tell us about because he doesn't have enough time.
Exactly. A Carter Hall turned dragon servant of Barbatos and keeper of the Dark Forge. There you go. They avoid his attacks, looking for a way to revive the core of the Forge.
You just got to get Thor to sit there and hold it open with his awesome biceps.
Meanwhile, Wonder Woman is in the Rock of Eternity, and she gains control of Hawkgirl and decorrupts her.
Okay.
So she's no bad. She's not bad
anymore.
She's no bad.
She's no bad no more.
Both are beaten by the Batman Who Laughs, who explains that
Which is Joker and Batman mixed.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is really bad.
Who explains that all the heroes have done is help accelerate Barbatos's plans.
No.
Earth is now low enough for Barbatos's army to claim the core to reach Barbatos. Wait, no, I skipped a line.
It's low enough for Barbatos's army to claim the world.
There we go.
Refusing
to give up, Diana and Hawkgirl proceed to use the Rock of Eternity's core to reach Barbatos and are confronted by the Dark Army of Barbatos.
What's the Rock of Eternity?
It's where you should know this. It's Shazam's place.
Is
that place?
We got Shazam now. I'm all in again.
I thought it was just a weird rock.
I'm back.
No, it's there.
Because Shazam's the best.
That's
DC
Shazam's
movie.
lair. Reaching the Dark Forge, Kendra Hawkgirl manages to break Carter out of Barbatos' corruption. Yes.
Okay.
Reigniting the Forge in the process.
That's convenient.
And then they make a big axe to replace Mjolnir.
And then
they make something.
Cut his arm
they
off.
make something better.
Okay, what is
Diana reaches Batman and Superman donned in 10th metal, a new metal
is that
they made.
nth metal with a T in front?
It's a new metal that they found and made armor out of.
So wait. At the beginning of time, there were actually like 6 metals that were created?
No, they made this metal kind of.
Okay.
Like Iron Man and Iron Man 2.
The 10th metal is a prime constitute of the World Forge.
Okay.
Barbatos is confronted by Flash and Cyborg, who have gathered reinforcements from other realities to defeat them. But then Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman come riding on a Joker dragon.
The holy trinity of DC right there.
Yeah. That are flying over all of Gotham, and they try to defeat Barbatos, and refusing to lose, Barbatos reveals his last resort.
Sorry. Okay. Joker dragon?
Yes, Joker dragon.
Where does that come from? What?
Where does this giant, big, evil, bad devil thing come from? Barbatos reveals his last resort using the combined power of the positive energy of his prisoner, the Over-Monitor, which is one of the people that were at the beginning of the universe.
Okay.
The Anti-Monitor's brain, negative energy, and the Batman Who Laughs, dark energy. He plans to destroy all of creation and leave nothing but darkness in his wake.
What's his motivation?
He just wants to destroy everything.
Not overpopulation.
No, not overpopulation. However...
Well, I was going to snap and it didn't work. There we go.
However, an unexpected team up of Batman and the Joker halts this plan. The Justice League defeats the remaining Dark Knights, and Hawkgirl subdues Barbatos. After the Over-Monitor explains that all living things have trace amounts of 10th metal, like the Force.
But not the nth metal.
Not the nth metal.
Okay.
The League proceeds to use this power to pull Earth out of the dark multiverse. After the battle,
and pretend that Zack Snyder's Justice League was never made.
Never made?
Right, because they're pulling it out of the multiverse.
No, the dark multiverse is a parallel, like a mirror universe of bad people.
I know.
After the battle, the Over-Monitor chains Barbatos down at the bottom of the dark multiverse with 10th metal chains, forcing him to watch the World Forge burn bright once more as it creates new worlds.
Was that fun for you, BB Nate?
It was. It was kind of a good little. I mean, I like
you like that comic. You were like
is.
geeking out about this one.
It is.
Too.
It's a really good comic.
Weird.
It sounds fun.
It's a great comic. And thank you, Wikipedia, for all the help with making me remember, because it's been like a year since I've read that.
And now your comic's packed up, so you can't read it.
It's true. I can't. Yeah. Well, I got it from the library. I don't even own that.
Oh wow! Really?
So, yeah.
If anybody's listening to this, they want to send it to BB Nate, I'll get you the address. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
That was like
those are expensive.
Yeah, I know they are. That was awesome. All right.
So that was a lot of fun, right, guys?
That was fun.
I had fun.
I'm still just as confused as before we started.
It was good. Fine. I had a lot of fun, but the fun is not over yet. That was the first in a trilogy of comics.
Trilogy?
Yes. So whenever we decide, we will be talking about the Batman Who Laughs miniseries, which is one of my favorite miniseries of all time. And then to wrap it up, we will be talking about Dark Knight's death metal.
Yeah.
Death metal.
Yeah. Since, BB Nate and Sam are getting to take more of a directional role in the show, and they get to pick what they talk about their segments. And so when we don't have anything that Nate needs to talk about for a show like that, Loki or one of those, if he's leaving.
I got to talk about Justice Society.
Justice Society, and then he'll talk about BB Nate will talk about a comic. We'll be like lost. Although we followed that better.
That was better.
Yeah, that one wasn't an 1,800 page comic book. It was more like 300, so it was a lot easier.
It was a lot easier to communicate. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Anything else?
So Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Part 2 is coming out soon, sometime this year. Doc Undar actually is going to have a job for you.
All right.
That sounds like
Please
fun.
don't make the boss as anticlimactic as it was for the first campaign.
Your dad didn't even finish it. Don't spoil it.
I haven't played it at all. I want to do that. So
Michael Keaton is confirmed to return as Batman in the Flash movie.
Are you excited about that?
I am. I just hope that we see Ben Affleck as Batman too.
That'd be cool. All right. And Marvel debuted a new trailer we didn't even talk about this week.
Nope.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It was a good trailer. What'd you think?
I'm hyped for it. I think it looks like a lot of fun.
What about you, BB?
Marvel's take on a martial arts movie. So
and they're going to do great.
And it looks like it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting with it. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to... Yeah, interesting.
There you go.
Interesting. Thanks for listening to the Tatooine Sons of Pop Culture podcast. Got it right.
Yes, you did.
Good job.
If you had a good time listening, it would be awesome if you could share this with your friends on all the places that you want to.
Of course, this show is only a small part of the Tatooine Sons world, so be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to get in on all the action, and stay updated on the latest pop culture news on our website, TatooineSons.com.
Which is... That's right. It is in progress, and it's on pause because
correct.
We're moving. And don't forget to follow the show on all of your favorite podcast apps. You can follow it on every one of them. I don't care if you've got Spotify, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast,
Spreaker,
Apple Podcast,
Podbean,
Castbox,
Overwatch. That's a game.
That's a different one. Overcast. All of them. Just follow it on all of them, so you don't miss an episode. And you can listen to it in each one of them too. And drop a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whichever, so we know that you love us. And then make sure you join us next week. We're going to do our best to get an episode in on Friday of next week. I'm not promising this one, but we're going to try. But we are literally not in our home yet when next Friday comes around. But when we do, we're going to talk a little, I don't know, it could be one of those grab bag episodes.
We got Justice Society.
Justice Society. All right, explain what it's about.
I got to figure out my segment.
So
it's all new for me.
basically, Flash learns, this is the new universe from the other DC animated movies. Flash learns that he can time travel.
And so he goes back to World War II?
travels to World War II, where he meets the Justice Society consisting of Jay Garrick Flash, which is old school Flash.
With the weird hubcap helmet.
Yeah, with the weird hubcap helmet.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't tell us more, because we may be actually having an episode about that next week. So that'll be a lot of fun. All right. Anything else you guys want to say?
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, always.
This party's over.
I like that Wookiee.
Don't get technical with me.
Joy, please.
Yep, yep.